This week, I ran into an artist who was working on the cathedral close. He was replicating with clay one of the stone sculptures ensconced in one of the buildings. I had watched him work for a number of days, slowly and methodically etching with severe precision every detail that his eye and brain could capture and communicate to his hand and scalpel. On his last day, I stopped, introduced myself, and asked him more about his work, his medium. As it turns out, his primary artistic medium isn't clay, but stone. But more than this, I was deeply touched both by how he understands his gift and his obligation to it. Initially, he called his own artistic medium, sculpting stone, vanilla. Then he said that with it, he attempts to reflect life back to itself, using material that has the gravity of life itself, to see life in the inanimate, a material that has the density to far outlive anything that is animate. By this I was floored. And he continued. He said, "I didn't choose this. It was given to me. Some people are born with the gift of music, some with the gift of dance, some with comedic gifts, and this is mine. I have an obligation to speak through this gift and to offer it up for the enjoyment of others. There's a kind of empathy that is required for seeing life in stone, so that's what I try to exercise, empathy, in the making and in the giving of the gift." This artist reminded me of what is written in Ephesians, that the gifts he gave were that some would be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors and teachers, to equip the saints for the work of ministry, for building up the body of Christ, until all of us come to the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of God, to maturity, to the measure of the full stature of Christ. When we encounter the disciples finding Jesus by the sea at Capernaum, they ask him, "What must we do to perform the works of God?" They have just witnessed quite a miracle in the feeding of the 5,000, and there's something contagious about the experience. They too, it seems, want the power, the gifting to make something out of almost nothing, to make plenty out of little, to see life where there's seemingly no life. But Jesus, so often, so cryptic, simply says, "This is the work of God, that you believe in him whom he sent." Well, what does it mean to believe in him whom God sent? Surely it must be something more than a logical proposition, no? Surely it must be something more than a mere statement of truth or something. In Ephesians, there is a clue. It says, "We must no longer be children, tossed to and fro and blown about by every wind of doctrine, by people's trickery, by their deceitful scheming." And here's the part. "But speaking truth in love, we must grow up in every way into him who is the head, in Christ, from whom the whole body, joined and knit together by every ligament with which it is equipped, as each part is working properly, promotes the body's growth and building itself up in love." To believe in the one whom he sent is to believe in love, to speak truth in love. A properly working body with reference to being knit together in and through Christ, that is. is a body made up of all kinds of parts that are fiercely committed to the empathetic exercise and giving of the gifts they've been given. A body made up of parts that give beyond what their gift satisfies in them. A body made up of parts that give beyond what their gifts satisfy in them. A body made up of parts that know their gift is indeed a proper gift from God, and so know that it can only be properly given in a spirit of humble adoration, service, truth, love. A properly working body with reference to being knit together in Christ, that is a body that sees life in what has been rendered lifeless, whether that be stone or even one's neighbor, perhaps, and especially even one's neighbor. Somehow, however backwards it seems, it is in this kind of empathetic sharing of one's God-given gifts that something more propagates in the giver's heart than if they'd simply used that gift for their own well-being. Somehow, in our giving, we are drawn more deeply into the Spirit of God in Christ in ways that make our living here and now more abundant than if we were focused merely on our own self-enrichment. Somehow, in giving of the gifts that have been given to us by God, our desires are transformed. What gratifies us changes. It is no longer just self-enrichment, but the transformation of the lives of others in which we find the most joy. Jesus said to them, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, and who believes in me will never be thirsty." Our coming to Christ and our believing in Christ is measured in our giving of the gifts bestowed upon us by God's free grace. Gifts to be freely given. Amen.